Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, earlier this week, I made a video and I said that I would discuss more about what the Republicans want to do and is at stake going forward if the Republicans win the election next week. If they get enough to take over the House, the Senate, and they have a veto-proof majority, where they can override any veto from the president, these are some of the things that are going to happen. Now, some of you are going to think I'm being alarmist, but the fact is these things have been said and written by MAGA Republicans. Or you can also call them the fascist wing of the Republican Party. For example, abortion. They want a federal abortion ban. They want to ban abortion 100% across the board, across the country. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like Lindsey Graham introduced a bill that would have allowed for, carve-outs for people that have been raped, victims of incest, and for the life of the mother. But the far right side of the party, the ones that actually control the Republican Party right now, have said no, we don't want there to be, any kind of carve out or any kind of, situation where an abortion can happen. Doesn't matter if a woman has had a miscarriage and will die if they don't get the fetus removed, or if they've been raped or victim of incest. These are all things that they don't care about. The life of the mother doesn't matter. The age of the mother doesn't matter. They don't care if they end up forcing an 8-year-old to give birth. They don't care. That's just one of many things, right? Social Security. Social Security, right? That thing you paid for. That thing, every time you get a paycheck, they take money away from you. The GOP wants to axe it completely. Now you've got some people saying they just want to put it up on the chopping block every year to see if it needs to be cut or anything like that. But that's your money. You paid for it. You earned it. So anytime somebody or a politician tries to tell you that your Social Security is an entitlement, unless you're on SSI, it is not an entitlement. SSDI and Social Security are not entitlements. You paid for that. That's yours. So don't let a politician take it from you. Congressman Ron Johnson wants to talk about putting it up on the chopping block every year. Mike Lee, senator from Utah, has said that he wants to completely abolish Social Security. You know what's going to happen when he abolishes Social Security? When he gets rid of Social Security? That's right. All that money you paid into it is going to go into the federal government, and that's it. You will never see it again. All that money they've been taking from you. All that money that you're relying on for busting your ass for this country. For decades, most of you. They want to take that away. Saying that, oh, you should have saved more money. Well, you know what? You don't pay people enough to save money. Yes, some businesses offer 401ks and stuff like that, like Walmart does. My wife had that, right? But you got to live on your money, so you can't put so much in most of the time. When you're making poverty wages, you don't get to choose how much goes in. Sometimes you have to make that contribution zero, which means you get no matching funds. Sometimes for people, Social Security is all they have to retire on. A lot of jobs don't offer 401k. A lot of jobs don't offer anything like that. And if you have a job that doesn't offer it, you probably don't get paid enough to be able to contribute to one. Because you're probably getting paid $7.25 an hour. So don't give me this, well, they should have saved more. They should have saved better. When you have to choose between putting money away for savings and putting food on your table to feed your children, you're not saving the money. When you're having to choose between, oh, my kid wants piano lessons and saving money, you're gonna make sure your kid's happy, right? That's what parents do. They put their kids before themselves all the time. Because a lot of people still have that belief that your kids should be better off than you were. Another thing they're going to do is they're going to continue their attacks on the LGBTQ plus community. It's going to get worse. You think the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida is bad? Wait till they pass it on a national level. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert have both said they're going to push to pass that if they win the election next week. They're going to continue their attacks on trans kids and trans adults. They're going to continue making kids transition, but they're going to do it at a federal level where all kids across the country that are under the age of 18 have to detransition. It's already led to a spike of suicides in Florida. What do you think this is going to do on a national level? They're going to continue to attack these children. And it's going to be worse than you're already seeing. Because it's not going to just happen in Florida. It's not just going to be in Texas or Oklahoma. It's going to be the law of the land. It's going to be the law from here in Oklahoma to New York City to California. The Don't Say Gay bill in Florida has nothing to do with K through third grade, as they told you. It did in the media. Because just a few weeks ago, a teacher was fired and the school district sued for mentioning the existence of gay people in class in a seventh grade classroom. They're also trying to scare people, trying to sit there and say, oh, inflation, the economy. First off, the economy is doing better than it's done in a long time. In fact, it may be a little too hot. So maybe we could see problems a year or two from now if things don't cool down a little bit. It's kind of the same thing that happened at the beginning of the Trump years. The economy was running so hot that if something hadn't slowed it down, it would have collapsed. Unfortunately, it was COVID that collapsed everything. But this is no different, really, right? The economy is doing too well. The thing is, wages are increasing. The jobless rate, the unemployment rate is now below 4%. So the economy is doing just fine. And I kind of hope that the Fed does something to slow things down because things are getting too hot from what I've seen and read. But right now, like I said, wages are going up. People are getting more. There's more people working. A a jobless rate of under 4%. As I read in the mid 2000s, was almost unheard of. There were people that said it couldn't happen. And as I mentioned in my last video, it's happened twice in the last two presidencies. Inflation. They're out there fear mongering. The Republicans are out there fear mongering about inflation. Oh my God, Thanksgiving may be a little more expensive this year. The holidays are going to be a little more expensive this year. And yes, inflation is a problem. But you know who's not to blame? Democrats. I don't think Republicans are to blame either. It's a global problem. It's a global crisis causing a lot of problems for a lot of people. But at last check, we're around 8.2%. Other parts of the world are doing far worse. The UK is at 11.5%. Germany is at 12%. I think we've done pretty good to bring down inflation. We're working on it. It's still taking time. But for the last few months, inflation has been falling. The price of gas has been teetering back and forth depending on what OPEC is doing. Right? But the fact is, that's what the GOP does. They fearmonger. They don't talk about what's actually happening. They invent problems and then tell you need to vote for them so they can fix it. The thing is, though, they're the ones causing the problems. Trans youth are not affecting anybody, are not hurting anybody. A woman getting an abortion for whatever reason, right, doesn't affect them in any way. Cutting Social Security does nothing for the economy except hurt senior citizens. So really think about it when you go to vote, whether it's during early voting or next Tuesday. Vote blue. Vote blue all the way down the line. Because these GOP candidates don't care about you. If you're a woman, if you're a senior citizen, if you're not cisgender and straight, don't care about you. I would hope that if you're a supporter of mine, who is being supportive of me now, and who has been supporting me since I got here, and I hope those of you that are supporting me since my transition began, I hope you will listen to me and vote for people that won't hurt me. Because I'm not concerned about the economy. I'm concerned about being able to exist as me. And so are thousands of trans people across this country. Probably, even millions. I'm sure over the years. But thousands of school kids that happen to be transgender need your help. They need you to vote to support them, to support their existence. As I've said many times, at the end of the day, I don't care what happens with me. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people say to me. But coming after trans kids, coming after other people in the LGBTQ community, coming after my community, period, and hurting youths by forcing them to detransition or making them hide who they are because they're gay. It's not reasonable. Nobody, the only thing that belongs in the closet are clothes. People shouldn't have to be in the closet. I don't care how old or young they are. Nobody should have to hide who they are. I did it for 40 years and I refuse to do it for a minute longer. And that's just how it is. And I hope you will join me in not allowing the Republicans to take over Congress. Please don't let that happen because it's going to lead to a lot of suffering for a lot of people. If you care about women's rights, if you care about elderly people being able to afford to make their rent and buy food, if you're worried about how the LGBTQ community is being treated by the far right, vote blue. Anyways, I'll see you down the road. Have a great weekend. I do have another video planned, either today or Monday. But it's going to be a good news video about a kid who gave his shoes. Well, bought some shoes for his classmate. All right, I'll talk to you.